welcome to another episode of In the Mix with Sid. I'm back home, my alma mater, University of Miami, #1 school, not in the nation, but in the world. And I'm here with one of the most prominent athletes to ever walk the halls here. And we're right here at her actual domain, the track and field. I'm with Michelle Atherley, former national champ, who's gone pro. And if you want to speak on what your career's been like, go for it.
My career, oh my goodness. So coming into college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what my path would look like, but I knew that I loved track and I wanted to be great at it. So I actually transferred here from the university, or Auburn University, and that was a very difficult decision for me, for sure. But I'm glad that I made it because it was the best decision I've ever made. Coming to Miami just kind of brought me into a new environment that allowed me to prosper on the track and off the track, meet wonderful people, and ultimately catapult me into a professional career. So I was very thankful for that, and super excited to kind of push myself into different places and just be a better athlete overall. And it has done that. It's made me a national champion. It's made me a multiple time ACC champion, and just, yeah, made my career what it is right now. So it's been quite a journey for sure.
For sure. So before I divulge into your professional career in depth, you mentioned people, and a lot of people, in especially life, sports, career, we tend to, I did this, but people catapult you. You want to emphasize on certain people that kind of pushed you forward, not just at the University of Miami, within your pro career as well, friends you've met along the way, coaches, that you want to be like, these people were the ones that made me who I am today, not just as an athlete, but as a woman.
Yeah, I mean, track is such an individual sport. Like, you do your event and only you can control the outcome and what you do and how you perform. And so what people don't talk about a lot is the team that surrounds you, whether they work for you or not, whether they're in your spaces constantly or not. And it's very vital to have individuals that use their expertise and their time to support you because they genuinely want to. So that's been the biggest learning curve for me so far. And obviously my coaches have just been incredible in my entire journey. They're the reason why I'm still here and training as a professional. So yeah, they've believed in me and seen a vision in this pro circuit, and even in college, one that I couldn't see because I hadn't been there, but they've been there, done that, and they're the experts in their field. So just having their support and having their vision predominantly has really helped me continue on this path, even if it's a path that I couldn't see. And then just meeting athletes along the way, it's been incredible to see how talented people are and to see how serious they take this sport as a profession, and what it takes to actually thrive in it, not just to be talented physically, but to be pushed through it mentally and emotionally, and just really surround yourself and build a career in it. That's been the most inspiring thing I've seen from other athletes that I've met. And of course, physios, you can't do the sport if you don't have a body to do the sport. So that's been key in just keeping myself afloat and just making sure that I take care of myself. That's been a key difference for sure coming out of college. But yeah, just the people that have helped me just stay alive, basically. It's really, really important to acknowledge those people while they're helping you and after as well. So.
What a lot of y'all don't know is I've been working with Michelle for a long time. I met her in a class, and it was via Zoom. And you see her demeanor, she's a sweetheart. So, you always have a fan in me. And I want to say this. Now that I've said you have a fan of me, I'm pretty sure you're going to gain multiple fans because they're starting to see the real you.
Yeah, thank you.
And what are the differences that you're seeing from running in college, running at a D1 school, winning a national championship? She ran on the heptathlon. It's probably one of the hardest, if not the hardest event that you could actually see on the track. And I want to say this, again, to reiterate the question, what are the differences that you see from competing at a college level? Not to diminish that it's any easier, but I could imagine it's a huge gap, or if not a slight gap, when you go into the pro circuit. These people are the real deal.
Yeah, it's more the biggest difference to me was just a lifestyle difference, mostly because I didn't move. I still have the same coaches. I'm in the same environment that I was in college, but my lifestyle is completely different. And
loyalty.
So, yeah. really coming out of high school, again, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I did not envision being a pro athlete in any capacity. I just knew that I wanted to go to college, and they offered me this opportunity to go on a scholarship. So I said, heck yeah. So I just kind of went year by year. And even while I was in college, I didn't see myself running professionally. It kind of just grew on me. So I would just say that, you know, if you think that it's something that you really enjoy and that you find that you can be invested in, you know, you don't have to be the best in the world. You don't have to be the best in the country. Obviously, having stats will help propel you into spaces, but no matter what level you're on, there's always opportunity on the professional level. You just have to find what works for you, and you have to find those, again, people in your corner that can get you to where you need to be. The biggest difference was really how I manage my time and what I spend my mental capacity on, right? So it went from me being paid to go to school and do track and have a huge support system whose job it was to take care of me without me pretty much asking, to me running my own business and it just being an entrepreneurship more or less. So I then had to go and seek people who could.
That's dope.
Yeah,
That's dope.
it was a little bit, it was a little difficult. It was rocky, you know. You come out of this extremely supportive system. Depending on where you go, obviously for a track, it can turn out different when you make that transition. But I went from a very like hands-on system, a system that really regulated my lifestyle, to me just having to make daily decisions of what I'm gonna do and what I want to do, how things should turn out based on what works best for me. And nobody could really tell me, you know, no, this is good, this is bad. And I got so used to like having that secondhand, third-hand guidance that it was very difficult to be like, trust myself and know that what I think works best could actually be, you know, the best decision to make.
Growth, baby, growth.
Yeah, it was an eye-opener for sure. I mean, this is my second year in, so I'm quite young in the professional, you know, realm, but I definitely have learned a lot coming out of my first year, and just like trying to balance life things with now this being my job. You know, I make income, earn income from it. I support myself with it, and it takes a lot to be able to travel.
You happy?
Of course.
Then
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle I've come to terms with, and one that I'm very happy to live. Otherwise, I would switch it. I would not do it. You know, it's very much a passion and something that I find can be fruitful in multiple ways. So it's definitely something that I love to do, and that makes me happy to do. And when it no longer does, then I'll no longer do it. So
yeah. Dreams wise, what are we talking about? Dreams. What are these Olympics looking like? Because I'm trying to go to the Olympics so I can be a fan now.
I'm a very
I promise you, I'll be the loudest one in the stands. I swear to God, I'll be out there with a sign.
You know this, yeah. He the last one's out the stands, so you know in the stands gonna be crazy.
It's
love. No, I'm a very, very realistic person, so I usually take things one step at a time. And again, you know, my coaches really had a very specific vision for me, and their plans and their guidance brought me to where I am now. And so I've really had to internalize, you know, what do I want to do and what are the goals, and they can be more, you know, elevated if I want to. They can be more hands-on or accessible or not. So it's up to me to have those dreams and to be able to convince myself that I can do it. So my dreams more or less are to be one of the best athletes in the world, and really what motivates me is just to be the best version of me that I can be. And at the end of the day, that happens to be better than some other people, and that was what makes me competitive, and I'm okay with that. And so next year is the 2024 Olympics, and so that's the next biggest championship opportunity that we have in track and field. So that's my next big goal. That's my next team to make, and it's going to be very, very difficult because America is basically the Olympics. You know, outside of the Olympics, it's the hardest team to make in the entire world, and people watch it like a reality TV show because every single person competing technically should be at the Olympics because, you know, we're just that competitive. But we only have a certain amount of spots to make, and only a couple of us is going to
call me
grab
crazy.
them, so.
Yeah. Mark my words, call me crazy. And she's gonna hate me for saying this, gonna be like, bro, you put me on the spot.
What?
I bet you she makes that shit.
Oh, well,
I bet you.
We'll see.
I've been saying it. Have I not been saying it since the first day you met me? I'm like, yo, you got it like that. She's too humble. And like, I get it. Like, you gotta be humble in life. And there's a difference between humble, cocky, and confident. She doesn't lack confidence when she's competing because I've seen her. I promise y'all, you're going to hit it. Mark my words. Hey, you heard it here. Mark my words. You going to hit it. Hey, there's a man upstairs. If you believe there's a woman upstairs, whatever color, whatever you believe in, you got it. Mark my words. You got it. You got it.
I appreciate it.
With that being said, because we could talk about the Olympics and everything nonstop, and there's other things I want to bring back to it, but I want to tackle this first. Trials and tribulations. Not from a workout standpoint, because I think, I hope everybody has a perspective on what it's like to be a pro athlete to a certain extent, you know, surface level. And you've given that. I want people to know the trials and tribulations. You're a black woman, you know. And one thing I can't stand is people, you know, I'm not black and I'm not a woman, so I can't speak on those shoes. But my brother's black growing up, just seeing the way he's been my best friend for a long time, seeing the way he moves and stuff like that compared to the way I move, it's different trials and tribulations we've been through. You know, I'm Latino, we have our own things and we all deal with stuff like that. But as a black woman, I can't imagine that it's 500 times harder the stuff y'all gotta go through with media, with fans, with people just blowing smoke on social media, which is y'all trash. But give me, how do you find an escape when you're on the track? How do you put that away? How do you cope with stuff, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the best thing you can do is just to let your talent speak for yourself, because at the end of the day, people will judge you no matter what you do. Like, there will be fans and there will be haters, literally no matter what you do. So as long as you love what you're doing and you love who you are, then that's what matters, because they can't control your daily life. When you lay down in your sheets and you in your bed tucked in, they not over there like, oh, maybe you should untuck yourself, it's a little too hot here. It's what makes you comfortable. So why listen to them in any other setting? I love that,
yeah. You know? I love that.
So, yeah. I mean, social media, it's a tool. It's not, to me, it's not a place for fun. It's a great way to connect. It's a great way to showcase your lifestyle, but it's definitely...
I think it's a balance. Because I you know, I love you, but I do find fun in it sometimes, but I don't find fun in berating other people.
For sure, yeah. But my page specifically is now business motivated, right?
As you should.
So that's what I keep in mind. And people always, like I said, have opinions. People is always a coach online. Like you'll find them, but they don't coach you on a daily. They don't see what you do on a daily. So what you put out there is what people call the highlights, right? And so I try to share a little bit of this, a little bit of that, to give a well-rounded picture of what I'm going through, and not just people can judge me based on what they see, and then they see me in person, it's completely different, you know? So I try to give an authentic point of view, but it's a business page. It's where I run, you know? It's how I promote my business.
It's where you get your paper.
Low key. So, you know, I don't know, it's just a lot that people go through all the time. So I'm
glad you said people, and I hate to cut you off, but the reason I say that is because one name stands in my head, and I had tweeted about her, and I was just like, and I'll say her name now, and I think it's common sense to anybody who's a track fan. This woman, black woman, was dragged for smoking weed, right? Smoking weed. And she comes out, post one of the best times of the year, if not the best time. I honestly have no information. I completely forgot right now, and I blanked. But she posted, if not the best time, I think it was a personal best and all. Nobody talked about it. And we're talking about Sha'Carri Richardson. And I'm just like, how is it? And we don't have to give our opinions on her personal life, because I don't know her. I don't know if you know her personally. I'm not gonna speak on anybody I don't know personally. Never have, never will. It's just not in me to do stuff like that. But I am a fan, huge fan, especially how she went through adversity. But this is exactly what we're talking about. How is it that a black woman is so easy to get dragged out here for something so minimal that people do on a daily basis in America? Across the world, forget America, across the world, but yet she posts the best time. I hope she goes into the Olympics and actually wins gold, and yet we still won't talk about it because she wasn't even being talked about. And I think it was called the Diamond League that she dominated.
Because you...
Give me your opinion, not on Sha'Carri, but using her as an example, what the bullshit that we're talking about.
because there's a standard of what everybody has for women in general, and then you make them a black woman and you're already 10 points lower, you know?
Yeah.
And so from that point, you then have those who want to just judge and critique it. It's so much easier to grab onto hate and to just like find things that are negative, you know, in everything. So they saw one thing happen and it's downhill from there. It's, she should be more responsible. She knows the rules. Da, da, da. The thing is, what
you
people
can't
don't
ball
know,
out. You can't ball out.
But the thing is, people really don't know is that being in the system is not like going into a football team system, right? You don't, or a basketball team. You're not surrounded by people who are, their job is dedicated to protecting you. You don't have lawyers. You don't have media guidance. You don't have, you might have coaches. All these people you personally have to hire yourself. And if you are just out here running because you're talented and you love the sport, it can be a learning curve, you know? And people make mistakes for sure, but people who are not in the system and don't know the regulations that you need to go to stay in the system, they only see what's on the surface, right? So they always judge people for missing tests. They always judge people for these minimal bans. She got like a month off or something like that for smoking weed in season. You can smoke out of season, right? So there's all types of nuanced things and what you have to do on your daily life to show up how they present track and field athletes. And it's just so much easier for people to judge that surface level, not to understand what it actually takes to perform and to stay crystal clean, you know, stay on your P's and Q's. And so it's just super easy to judge somebody who's outside of the box, who's extremely talented, extremely visual, extremely outspoken.
She dope. I think she dope.
I mean,
I think
and that's why she blew up the way she did, right? So it's too much for people to handle. They love to see her and they love to see her fall. Like they love to see her just do amazing. They love to see her do crazy stuff.
And this is my opinion. This is my opinion, and I'm glad you said that. This is my opinion, and I don't care what y'all say. This is why I think black women in the world are arguably, and I hate to say it, I don't care what y'all think, but I think arguably you guys are the most powerful beings to walk this round. I just generally do. Why? Because of things like this, like the authenticity that y'all bring to the table, as in like she had a wig on, took it off, showed her next head, long nails. I don't give a fuck.
Well, she
I
also
love that shit. Like that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Through
yeah.
everything that she knows that people are talking shit behind the back. And I think that was dope. I mean, that was dope as hell.
Again, all I'm saying is that what people saw last year was her being able to perform, but outside of a formal capacity, if that makes sense. So now she's able to see, oh, these are the moves I need to make, but this is how I can make them in my own way. You know? Where before she was not completely, or like other people, right? Sometimes they're not completely sure. You transition into this system that's, again, you don't have extreme guidance on, and it's like you're expected to be pristine, like a 10-year veteran, you know? So they don't give room or anything for people to make mistakes, more or less.
Trash.
But now people see she can perform on an elite level, and several other athletes are doing the same, performing on an elite level and also being themselves, you know, trying to just support themselves in a system that doesn't give to too many. And so it's just being smart about it and knowing how to work a system for longevity, but also change the system, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because what people are going to do is follow these women who know how to use their power, know how to use their influence. And if you can perform the way that she can perform, then you have a lot of influence on the higher ups, not just, you know, the fans. And so I think there's a lot of, you know, room for improvement in this profession, but we love to see it. You know, I love to see her win. I love to see her do great, especially because she's representing, you know, the same team as I am. And I just love that she showcases a lot of small girls that are just like her, and she shows them that it's possible, especially in that
more than an athlete
event.
Is real. More than an athlete is
100%.
real. And I'm glad that you said personality, because I want to share this with y'all. I'm gonna put her on the spot right now. Come here, give me on. Is it on this side? Where's the avocado?
Oh.
Show that. You have to roll it up.
What?
Just show it. This is what I was telling y'all about her. I know she wearing a sweater. It's a little hard. Show the camera real quick. Look. Right there, y'all see that? That's called bubbly personality. This is what I was telling you. I didn't want to tell her this before the interview because I know that I wouldn't have gotten the real version of her, but this to show y'all this is why I love her, this is why I'm a fan of hers. And before we wrap up, if you could tell the women, the men, the athletes, the people, because not everybody could be an athlete, you know. With that being said, give any words of wisdom, any words of experience, anything you can to the next generation of track athletes that are coming behind you trying to do life.
Yeah. I think the biggest piece of advice I can give, just like, I mean, I can give a ton, but my biggest
We'll
so
be here
far,
for another hour.
I know, probably is just to trust yourself. I think that's the biggest piece of advice, because you have so many people that try to influence you, or so many people that you look to for guidance, but at the end of the day, it's your body, it's your profession, it's your experience. So you have to be able to trust yourself, and enough to say, is this what I want? You know, is this what I need? Is this what's going to make me better? Am I in control, not just of my environment, but my actual body? You know,
that's dope.
Your body is your vessel, and so to be fully in control of that, physically and emotionally, I think is extremely difficult, especially as a young person. So that's my biggest advice I can give right now.
If you want to give your age, if you want to say
right now? Oh yeah, I'm 27 and a half.
Boom. So we're both 27 and a half, and this is why I'm glad that you said that, because even at 27, everybody that's younger, there's exactly what I've alluded to in other episodes, that we just growing and we're constantly growing, and we fail to see that sometimes, you know. We fail to see like the things around us become overwhelming, and we're like, we're doing life wrong, and we're not. And you're getting that from somebody who's a national champ, University of Miami, #1 school in the world. And again, nothing but the utmost thank you for even like jumping on this with me.
Of course.
And all the love to y'all. I was actually thinking about giving y'all a little glimpse of me on the track, but I saw how big it was, and I got PTSD from high school on the 400. So I was like, let me keep my ass on the seat, and I'll stick to the sidelines. But all the love, peace and love, y'all again. Michelle Atherley, the greatest.
Of course. So excited to be on the next best thing. Thank you.